Night, 3:17 a.m. In the middle of America, an isolated modern military base is completely silent. A few soldiers in the watchtowers are checking the thermal cameras. Patrol vehicles are slowly moving along the fences. Nothing unusual appears on the radar screens. There are around 3,200 personnel on this base, but not all of them are fighters. Some are technicians, medical staff, logistics crews, maintenance teams, and administrative personnel. Everyone is having an ordinary night until the sensors catch the first anomaly. At first, it looks like a small movement, then another one, then hundreds, then thousands. The radar and thermal cameras pick up strange signals at the same time. One of the soldiers in the command center walks closer to the screen and tries to understand what he is seeing, because the system is detecting massive movement in the open terrain outside the base. This is literally an army. Actually, not just one army. The camera moves outside the base. Behind the horizon, a dark crowd of people is advancing. Genghis Khan's Mongol cavalry is moving on the right flank. Alexander the Great's army is forming up in the center. The 300 Spartans are marching on the front line with their heavy shields. Roman legions are approaching in disciplined blocks, and the Persian army is filling almost the entire landscape. The total number looks absolutely insane. Nearly 1 million ancient soldiers are moving toward a single modern American military base. Inside the base, the alarm goes off. The sound of the siren cuts through the entire area. Lights turn on. Guards move into position. The command center locks down the entire base. Main gates close. Armored vehicles pull behind concrete barriers. The machine guns in the towers turn toward the outer perimeter. The drone team immediately launches small reconnaissance drones. Thermal cameras turn on. Everyone sees the same thing. Outside, there is a crowd so huge that numbers barely explain it. And no one here is getting help from outside. No air support, no nearby unit. In this battle, the base only has the equipment already inside. At first glance, this battle looks one-sided. Modern weapons, night vision, radios, armored vehicles, sensors. These seem way too powerful against the ancient world. But the difference in numbers changes everything, because there are only a few thousand people on the modern base. Facing them are some of the most aggressive, disciplined, and dangerous armies in history, all standing side by side. And these armies are not just running randomly. Their commanders are watching, thinking, and adapting very fast. The first move comes from the Mongols. Genghis Khan's cavalry draws a wide arc on the right side of the base. They do not attack the gate directly. They are testing the area. They are trying to understand where the fences are weak, what angle the towers can see, and which areas the lights are illuminating. Horse archers ride in, shoot arrows, and quickly pull back. This is one of the most annoying tactics of the old world. Hit, run, hit again. Normally, most armies break apart against this. But this time, the searchlights open from the towers, and the night suddenly turns bright like daytime. The first machine gun fire begins. The sound is so harsh that some of the Mongol horses lose control. Sirens, drone sounds, engines, and gunfire panic the animals. Some cavalrymen lose formation, but the Mongols do not fully stop, because this army has known how to create panic throughout history. But now, part of the panic is happening on their own side. Still, by constantly moving on the right flank, they manage to divide the base's attention. When the base commander sees this, he does not wait. He immediately calls his staff officers to the command center. The map screen opens, and the base is divided into 4 main defense zones: north, south, east, and west. Wherever the enemy is more crowded, more soldiers, vehicles, and ammunition are sent there. Even non-combat personnel are pulled into duty. Administrators carry supplies. The maintenance crew keeps armored vehicles ready. The medical team opens the infirmary, and technicians check the generators. The commander's order is very clear. This base is not being surrendered. Extra barriers are pulled behind the gates. Additional security is placed around the fuel area and the armory. Electricity is sent into the fences. Tanks and armored vehicles are lined up behind the main roads. Heavy weapon teams watch the massive crowds in the open field. The base is now fully in defensive mode. But the commanders outside are not just standing around either. Genghis Khan, Alexander, Roman commanders, and Persian officers all realize the same thing. Crushing this base from one point is difficult, so they need to spread out. The more they spread, the better they can use their number advantage. The Mongols open up to the flanks. The Persians build a wide front. The Romans track the technical areas that look weak. Alexander watches which point of the defense reacts late. The Spartans patiently stay close to the main gate. They are not a crowd, but they stand like a pressure point. The first drone attack begins at this moment. Small reconnaissance drones rise above the crowd and drop explosives on the dense areas. Panic forms in the Persian ranks, but it does not take them long to analyze it. Persian archers and Mongol cavalry begin aiming at the drones in the sky. When the first drone falls to the ground under a rain of arrows and stones, a huge shout rises from the crowd. Now they understand that these machines can also be brought down. The ancient armies immediately start their own chaos plan. The Persians and Romans set up simple catapults in the rear. They launch burning balls into the base. Most of them fall into empty areas, but one hits near the vehicle park, and another starts a small fire on a warehouse roof. The fire alarm goes off. The first major wave comes toward the main gate. Persian infantry runs in front. Spartans advance behind them without breaking formation, and Romans probe the fence line. The machine guns in the towers begin firing. The first ranks fall apart, but the ones coming from behind do not stop. One of the tanks moves into position behind the gate and fires into the crowd. The blast shakes the area. The ancient armies slow down for a few seconds, then continue advancing again. The first attempts to climb the fences begin. Persian soldiers raise their shields, and Roman legionaries support them. But the first group that touches the fence is shocked by electricity and falls back. The ones behind try again. This invisible force makes them hesitate, but it does not make them give up. They throw shields onto the fences, while archers fire at the towers to distract the soldiers. Right at this moment, something critical happens on the main gate side. In the area where the Spartans are approaching, one camera is damaged in the rain of arrows and stones. A few seconds later, the second camera next to it also loses its feed. The command center can no longer see that point clearly. The Spartans feel the opening. A few Spartans and a small Persian group manage to slip through the damaged section and reach the inner security line. The first contact inside happens fast. The patrol team notices them too late. At close range, modern soldiers are wounded, but at the last second, they manage to report it over the radio. The Spartans are now advancing inside the base. The emergency response team immediately arrives in that area with armored vehicles and catches the Spartans, who got inside in crossfire. Then they block the opened passage with an armored vehicle. The commander understands that he cannot win by only stopping this crowd. He has to pull them to the wrong place. He points to the southwest side on the map. That is the old training field. Open, wide, and from the outside, it looks like a weak area. The commander gives orders to the soldiers on that side. Stop firing. Let them come from here. Tower fire drops for a few minutes. Some vehicles pull back. From outside, it looks like the defense is collapsing there. The ancient armies start shifting southwest. First, small groups test it. The base does not respond much. Then Persian infantry, Roman units, and some Mongol cavalry fill the open field. Alexander thinks this is a weak point. Genghis Khan's men also think they can make an encirclement from there. The commander gives the final order. The controlled explosive barriers in that zone activate. The open field is suddenly split apart by explosions. The Persian wave is shattered. Roman units lose their formation. The place they thought was safe turns out to be the most dangerous part of the base. This becomes the turning point of the battle. The modern base launches a counterattack. Tanks and armored vehicles move out of the base. The attack on the outside units begins with rocket launchers. Against kamikaze drones, machine guns, and tank missiles, there is nothing left for the ancient armies to do. Those who charge with all their remaining strength as a last resort cannot even get out of the minefield. The inner defense line does not break. As the last ancient waves retreat, the battle ends. The modern military base stops the siege and wins the war. And yeah, obviously, this scenario is not possible in real life. I thought of it when I could not sleep, and then things suddenly got out of control. What do you think? Write your thoughts and your next video ideas in the comments. Do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.